Hey, come on in. It is time for us to start off our I Choose Me takeover. I see. There we go. All right, I see you in there. Good. And all right, I think you should be able to see me. There you go. All right, join her in. I see you out in the audience. I'm bringing you on. It should be letting you come in. I see you in there, Tony. All right, Adia, let me know. Can you see me? And if so, put in the comments if you can join. All right, y'all. Technical difficulties. Not letting my girl in. Let's see. All right, Adia, see if that lets you in. It's saying you unable to join. I can see you trying to click request to join. Okay. I'm gonna give her another second to try to join again. If not, I'm gonna try that way. I tried a second with you, see if that lets you in. Hey, everybody. I see you, Kendra Solutions. Here we go. Here we in there. Listen, I was like, I'm hitting everything. Why is she not on here? Listen,
Hey.
I'm going to tell you a little secret. This happens every time I go live with somebody.
Really?
Always a sign that I know that it's going to be good whenever I have the most technical difficulties. I'm just let you know. I got about 4 people who can say every time it's always something. So I'm so excited to have you join me. This is the first one, and I'm so happy that you were able to join me. So everybody keep coming in. I see people coming. So I'll just do a little intro, and then we're going to jump into this thing because I know it's the middle of the workday, so I don't want to keep people too long. So, wow. So let's just do a little background. Everybody knows that I am starting to put out my I Choose Me, my new self-published book. It comes out in February, so I'm so excited. And because of that, my mission was I wanted to have dope women come onto my platform and help us learn how to choose ourselves more, get out of survival mode. I went through, I sent out, I got a whole lineup. You're the first, but we got some more dope women coming, and I want you to come in and help us to just get tips. I want people to bring their notebooks. I want people to be empowered. I want people to be encouraged. And more than anything, I want people to understand that you no longer have to suffer in silence and you can just show up as your best self. So anyway, that was the purpose of doing these IG lives. My book is now for pre-order. It's at buy, I choose me book.com. So it's on pre-order now for the people who are joining in. Oh, I see everybody coming in. It is more people. Hey, I see Manga in there too. So for the people who don't know who I am specifically, my name is Coach Jineen. I'm a mindset coach and a self-love expert, and I help ambitious moms to alleviate overwhelm and self-neglect so that they never lose themselves again and they go from survival mode to the soft mom life. So first up, let's talk about you. I chose you because Thriving with Joy, we both are life coaches. And we met, 2023 at a conference. And right there, we just connected off the jump. And when we were at our retreat, me and you both spoke about some of our past things. And one of the biggest things you said to me, and I think you have it tattooed, is it joy? Is that what's on your arm? What's on your arm?
On my arm.
Uh-huh.
Can't see it. I have grace. Yes.
Yeah. And it stuck with me when you were talking because coming through grace, and we've all been through things. So this is going to be a conversation. It's interactive. I want people in the chat, if you're excited, to definitely type in I choose me if you understand and respect the cause that we're doing. So the reason why I chose you for this is because joy was something that we talked about. You're thriving. You know, I talk about blooming all the time, which is to be planted in a certain place, and you bloom where you're planted so you can shine up as your best self. But we have to embrace our journey with grace. And sometimes when we're in the journey, it's hard to have joy because it is so much, right? When something is put in the dirt, it's dirty. The manure, You can't have joy, but we're showing people how you can thrive through the mud and bloom and have joy still where you are in the moment. So that's why I chose you. And I think it's going to be dope. So first, tell us your name, tell us what you're doing, and tell us a little bit about you, okay?
Sure. I am Adia White. As Jineen mentioned, I'm a life coach and I help women overcome overwhelm, walk in their purpose, and create a life they love. And really, as Jineen said, it's all about finding joy. No matter what circumstances you're going through, it's about creating that joy and creating a life that you love. So just about that's who I am. I am a mom, I'm an auntie, sister, friend, sports fanatic, fashionista, all the
All the
things.
things.
And so I just love helping women, like I said, thrive. So really, really excited to be in conversation with you and so excited for your book. I'm
Thank
just
you.
I'm
I'm
so
so excited.
author.
It was a long time coming for the people who know I stretch like a rubber band. I'm a private person, but listen, you stretch me like a rubber band, so I know it's going to bless the
Yeah.
people, okay? So let's start off with the first question. What's your word of the year?
Ooh, I actually have 3 words of the
Ooh,
year.
okay.
My 2023 was execute, and it was a big part of why I was in the business coaching program with you, Jineen. And so I feel like I executed a lot in 2023. And so my 3 words for this year, I call it AAA. And it's authority,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
abundance. So
Authority, audacity. I'm writing this
that's
down, y'all, because I take notes. And what was the other
abundance.
one? Abundance. Ooh, I like all those.
So I just believe, this is my time to walk into my God-given authority, walk into the calling that He has given me, and to do so with authority, and to really show up as myself, show up authentically, because authenticity is one of my top values, and that I believe as a result, I will live an abundant life. And that doesn't necessarily mean monetarily, although I do believe that abundance will flow through wealth. But that just means in all aspects of my life that I will live an abundant and happy and thriving life. So,
Ooh, well, that's so good. And just for the people that don't know, you just even changed your whole business mantra to thrive.
I did. I really had an epiphany a couple of weeks ago. Um, and because I talk about thriving a lot, and thriving is my signature program, Thrive stands for thoughts, health and wellness, rest, identity, vision, and execution. And so I just thought it made so much sense to just change my brand a little bit to Thrive with Adia, because that's what I want everyone to do. That's what the women that I help, I want you all to thrive with me. So yeah, I'm
We're
excited.
better together than we are apart. And that's why I feel like this is perfect for the community setting because I think sometimes we suffer in silence because we want to be in silos and not help each other.
That's right.
And each part of us brings something different to the table. So we're both life coaches, but we do it from a different way. We both have a calling on someone else's life that's different. I always say your sheep will know you by your voice.
Yeah.
I recently brought in as an education expert for the She Wins Society. And one of the questions they asked, what is my superpower? And I said, my intentionality, but also my
Yeah.
voice. And I'm very
Yeah.
firm on that.
Yeah.
Um, people can hear me by my voice. It's a little bit distinct. It's got a little edge to it. But my point with that is, even in the Bible with Queen Esther, right? She
Mhm.
was one where once she started using her voice, she was able to save her people.
Yeah.
And probably 3 to 4 years ago, and I talk about this in a book too, somebody called me a Queen Esther. And they're like, Janine, at some point you're going to use your voice to help people. So it started with my podcast. Now we on live, okay? But it started with the podcast because that was like me using my voice to save people. And when you do a podcast, you speak out into airwaves. You don't see the people, but then
Right.
they kept coming.
Yeah. I love
You
it.
know what I mean?
Love it.
And they come to tune into your voice. And so the point I tell people is even it's an extension of your brand to have a podcast because that's how your tribe recognizes your voice. And so I'm saying this to you because I believe you're another Queen Esther and you're serving your people by using your voice to show them how
Yeah.
to to thrive in the aspect from your way. So I think that's awesome. I love your words. My word this year is expansion.
Ooh.
So I did pivot, which I was pivoting towards peace 4 years ago. Then I did evolve. Then I did balance last year. So, my framework is bloom. And so that's very important, which everything is flowers and butterflies, as everybody knows. I always talk about going from the cocoon, bruised caterpillar to the cocoon to the butterfly. Hey, I see Victoria coming in. Hey, guys, I see you guys coming in. And so with my framework, it's very important to me that I evolved into the butterfly, right? That was the word. And then I did balance because I had to balance that thing out, because with me, I'm specializing, like I said, in not losing yourself again. And I lost myself by doing too much. So I needed balance. But this year for 2024, girl, I'm serving with expansion. I'm expanding my territory. I'm expanding everything. God is in here stretching me. But last year I did a lot of purging. And so this is very good for somebody with letting go, because to have joy, sometimes it is in the let go that you do have joy, because you can't hold on to things that don't serve you. One chapter must end before something can begin. So I ended a chapter. I just turned 40, as y'all know. It's stressful out here. I want me to do decade. But with that was a big eye opener for me, to be like, listen, Neen, like, you are ending a chapter to begin anew, but you can't get here if you don't let that go. And remember, at the conference, I had my own epiphany in front of everybody. This is not that, right? I had that whole.
This is not that.
So,
I love it. Yes.
So,
I love it because it reminds me of the prayer Jabez. Lord, bless me indeed, enlarge my territory. And so I pray that for you and for your coaching business, that God will just enlarge your territory and allow you to expand into places that need you and that need your voice.
Oh, that's so good. I received that. I might get a little teary-eyed on that. So that's all the background. I just wanted to definitely have that. I like to lay the groundwork. So let's get into the meat of this thing. What does I choose me mean to you?
Ooh. I choose me means putting yourself first. I think that as women, and I'm going to say particularly as Black women, we tend to put everyone else and everything above ourselves. And, we're taking care of the kids, we're taking care of the husband, we're taking care of our parents and our family and our friends, and we tend to lose ourselves. And so I love the I choose me mantra, because it reminds yourself that you have to take care of you first. And it's like, we've all heard this, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so you have to fill your cup in order to pour out to others. And I would suggest that we don't pour from the actual contents of the cup. We pour from the overflow. And so you have to fill your own cup. You have to be fulfilled in your own self. And then in that overflow, you can give to others. So that's.
Ooh, that's so good. That's so good. Listen, I agree. Serving from your overflow, that's something that I felt is so important. I hit health problems and stuff from serving from my depleted version of myself. And that's how the I choose me mantra became a thing. But I think as a myth, people think when you say I choose me that you're being selfish. And I believe it's selfless, because it serves your people better. And some of my coaching clients know, one thing I say is, when you show up better, when you are better, everybody around you will be better.
Absolutely. I believe that. And I think we have to get away from this selfish mantra. We hear self-care isn't selfish, but it truly is not, because if you can't take care of yourself, you're not going to be here to take care of others. I have been stressed out to the point of being physically ill. And at that point, you're no good to anyone. And so you have to take care of yourself. Whatever that looks like to you, you need to make sure that you are 100% so that you can give to others.
Ooh, that's so good. That's so good. So that jumped right into our next question. Have you ever felt like you lost yourself in life or love? So do you want to talk about anything related to that? Give us a little tidbit. Give us something.
Sure. I definitely have lost myself, along the way. I got married young. I had children young. And you just get caught up, like I said, in that grind of being married with children, building a career. And you look up and you're like, what
happened? What happened? Where we at? How we get here?
You turn 40 and I turned 47 in September. And I have been really, since I've turned 40, in my 40s, have been on this journey to, number one, being healthy. I'm very transparent that I've had mental health challenges. I suffer from anxiety and have been diagnosed with severe depression. And so I seek therapy, I take medication. I have a wonderful circle of friends around me who are great sounding boards, and advice. And so all of those things have helped me find myself again and really figure out, who is Adia? Like, what does she like? What does she want to do? You know, what is my calling and how can I fulfill my calling, you know, in this place where I am right now?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I tell people as well. You know, we have these grand visions of what God wants to do for us, but we have to start where we are. And, you know, for a long time, I was paralyzed by fear. Like, I don't know what to do. I know you've called me to do this, but I'm afraid. What will people think about me? But I just want to encourage anyone who's watching to just take that first step. It doesn't have to be perfect. The reason why I have grace tattooed on my arm is to remind myself that I will hold myself to a standard of grace and not perfection. And so I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I know what it feels like to want everything to be just so before you take that first step. But I encourage you, it doesn't have to be perfect. And if you are walking, doing what God has called you to do, he will take your little step and make it big.
Mm.
And he will do the rest. And so that's kind of this journey that I've been on, just making sure that I'm following after what God has told me to do and that I'm taking the steps,
Mm.
even though I'm doing it scared, doing it afraid,
Yeah.
all things. But I am really a witness that when you start taking those steps, he's going to do the rest and he's going to multiply your efforts for impact.
That's so good. And you know, like I said, my framework is Bloom, but the first one is believe in yourself. And one thing my clients tell you, I'm going to push you out of your comfort zone. And that's even how the book was birthed. And so I believe you have to be your first example. I'm an ex-perfectionist. There's so many things that can cause you to have perfection paralysis. I talk about this in the book too. Some things will cause you to be so stagnant because you need to make sure it's dotted up of the I and the T's before you even move forward. And so when you definitely can do that, and Miss Kendra's in there saying she loves that. She's definitely been talking a lot about letting go of perfection. Listen, it is common, and that's why I said I'm bringing people on. So now that you even said that, it makes me think about, because you focus on joy and thriving, what's one thing you would be able to go back and tell your younger self about that from what you've been through to
Yeah,
now?
I would say be in the present and find moments of joy in each day. And that's really what I try to do, is just like, you know, making my cup of coffee in the morning is like a little moment of joy for me. I love making my coffee, and taking that first sip is like, oh, this feels so good. And so
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be anything grand. It could be, maybe, you know, my dog is over here asleep, but maybe like, you know, cuddling with your pet, you know, or your spouse or your partner, or taking a walk or reading a book. But I would just encourage my younger self to not be so forward thinking and so, you know, I'm a goal getter and, you know, so thinking about the next thing, that I don't appreciate the now and find joy in the now.
Mm. You brought me to a conversation. So I'm 40, but when I graduated high school, I was 17. And I've been a nurse since I was 17, and I was valedictorian. But my mentor at the time was like, Jineen, you have to smell the roses. And I didn't really understand that concept, but it was, I'm so ready for the next
Yep.
thing that I couldn't smell the flowers and the roses of this thing. And so even more, I lost a child, but I also lost a family member that was very close to me, my cousin, but we grew up as sisters. And this was probably what, we're going into our fourth year of this. And when I lost her at the same age I was at the time, it really clicked in for me to enjoy the little moments, to be present with my son, even when he wants to do something, not be so focused. Like I hit burnout. Like it was so many things that happened to me in such a short time period that having joy and having gratitude
Yes,
was big for me. So taking those moments of gratitude is what really excelled me with my mindset journey and why I'm a mindset coach, because I feel like you really have to tackle your mind, because it all starts with your thoughts, then your feelings, then your actions, then your results. And so until you get a hold of what you're thinking about, you really can't embrace where you are, because you may be stuck in mind drama. And that's where the whole Bruce caterpillar thing come is, woe is me, I'm victim, is this. And then the cocoon is when you're really doing all the work. And then the butterfly is when you bust out, but nobody can break you out of the cocoon until you're ready. That's when your wings are strong.
I love that. Love
And
that.
so that's why I'm so big into the butterfly. My logo has an 8 in it, because it's a journey that you have to go through to get there.
Absolutely. And you know what, hearing that made me think back to, I lost a friend this summer, and it really, I mean, it really shook me to my core, because, we're about the same age, and literally she just dropped dead. And it really reminded me that life is short. It's
Yes.
so short. And so if we don't appreciate, like you said, show gratitude for every day, even those days when it's bad, even those days, I have those hard days and those bad days when I just stay in bed and pull the covers up over my head.
And
But
that's okay.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay, but I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be able to feel those hard feelings, even though it's really, really
Hard.
hard at the time.
Uh-huh.
Just being able to show gratitude can really start to change your mindset, like you mentioned, and change the thoughts that you have about yourself, about your situation, about your surroundings. And it's so important for us to show gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It's so crazy because yesterday, now I'm an older mom, like I had my son in my beginning of my 30s. So my son is 7, he'll turn 8 this year. And so yesterday they didn't have school, but it was the little things we got. I was off, he was out of school. And so he said, Mom, I'm just so happy that you're here. It was all the little things we did yesterday. It's snowing where I'm at, so there's no school today. But we still alive. I'm still showing up. But it was, Mom, this was the greatest thing ever. Like we're outside doing snowball fights. Like I'm just saying the little things of joy, but that made
Yes.
his
Right.
day. And sometimes just showing up at your best self, just taking it back full circle of when you showing up at your best self and you serving from your overflow, people around you. So he's even seeing a change in me because I have enough energy to support him where he is.
Yes. And you're creating those core memories for him. And he's going to remember, when I was out of school, my mom played in the snow with me. And so
Mhm.
it's a little, but it was a big deal to him.
I think, like we said, when we lost the people that we lost, I really stopped caring so much on the big things.
Mm-hmm.
And I took precedent of the little things. And that's why I'm circling back to gratitude. People who know me know I speak in onions, so it's always layers. I know. So my class like, girl, you be in layers. Like I layer that thing because it's a whole thing,
It is.
but that's why the little things start out with the gratitude. And even when I was in some of my darkest moments, I would take 20 minutes every night and I would write down 3 things I was grateful for that day, whatever it was. A friend called me, to help me, console me, and wherever I was, like whatever it was just, and I stood to that every day. And sometimes even for joy, it's getting yourself a playlist or something that's going to keep you going. So I'm going to have you come up with 1 to 2 songs because we create an
Yeah.
I choose playlist for the women. So think about your 2 songs
Okay.
while we're talking. But I think those were so good. Now let's just circle to our next part.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 3 tips that you would give with your expertise in telling them to choose themselves more. 3 tips. What's your 3 top tips? They need this. They need to write it in their notebook. What
Sure.
we doing?
Number
Mm-hmm.
one is mindfulness and gratitude. Absolutely. Spending time either in quiet solitude, in prayer, in devotions every day, and starting your day that way, because it
Okay.
really sets the course of your day. Number 2 would be move your body. Move your body at least 30 minutes a day. I'm working on that. I'm on a wellness journey, not just to lose weight, but to feel better overall. And I know that when I move my body at least 30 minutes, I feel so good after. So today I'm gonna walk after work because I had some early meetings. But yesterday I walked in the morning and I was so energized the rest of the day. And so, those endorphins that are released when you exercise, they're real. And they really do improve your mood and your overall like feeling good. And then third is going to be find your joy.
Mhm.
Find your moment of joy. We talked about this in every day. Find something that you love to do that's going to make you smile, that's going to make your heart feel good every day. So those are my top three things.
I love it. So we're just going to play it back. You said mindfulness and gratitude, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, move
Yes.
your body 30 minutes a day.
Yes. At least 30.
Okay. And then number three, find your joy, whatever that looks like for you. I love all three of those.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll put you on a spot. We putting this I Choose Me playlist together. What's one song that needs to be on there?
My song that I love, that I live by, will forever be my theme song is Golden by Jill Scott.
Okay. Living my life like it's golden. Yes. I know the song. Uh-huh.
Yes. And then
Okay.
number two is going to be Masterpiece by Jasmine Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
That's more like a mindset when I need to feel empowered and
Mm-hmm.
reminded that I am a masterpiece, then
Mm-hmm.
that I listen to. I always take things to a spiritual level. And so, I'm reminded that I'm created in God's image, and that makes me a masterpiece. And I'm also reminded that I can be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time.
You can
Like
be a
those
mess and it's okay. Yes.
be simultaneous. And some say work in progress. I say a hot mess because I am all of those things. But it's possible to be those things all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my two songs that I love and will forever be on my playlist.
Okay, listen. So we're going to wrap this thing up. I'm grateful. We're going to now talk about what you have offering. Tell the people how they can find you, what you got going on, and we're going to get ready to close this thing out.
Yay! Well, first of all, I want to say congratulations again, Jineen, on your book. I've ordered it. I cannot wait to get it. And thank you for having me as your first guest on this series, this IG Live I Choose Me series. But you can find me, you can follow me at Thrive with Adia. And if you want to, I send a weekly email. It's called the Thrive Weekly. If you want to join that, you can click the link in my bio and sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get all the things. And I'll share, when I have upcoming workshops and things going on. So that's how you can stay connected with me. I'm in the process of, like I said, I've just kind of rebranded Thrive with Me. And we talked about let going of perfectionism, because I can tell you 2-3 years ago, I would not have just decided to just go out with it without having like everything put in place. Literally, I changed my IG name and I was like, we're going with it. And the
The
rest
make
will
move. Yes, and we can pivot. That's the thing too for perfectionists. We don't think we can pivot once we make a decision.
be.
And I think that's what keeps it stagnant, because it's like if it's
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
stance, but really it's the grace of all right, I tried it. We can pivot or we can tweak. And it doesn't really mean you have to start all over. So you
I'm
pivoting, I see it.
pivoting. I'm pivoting and I'm having fun with it. And I'm still going to be creating content and helping women because that's what I love to
Mm.
do.
I'm so grateful for you coming. So many people came in. They know we are wrapping up. I'm going to say this is for the replay. Please, please, please make sure to go support her over at her IG and follow her. My pre-order is out for the I Choose Me book. It is saying buy, B-U-Y, ichoosemebook.com to go ahead and get your pre-order. It's coming out in February. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have these women coming. I feel it's going to be a blessing. Like I told you about the Queen Esther thing. It's something about your voice. And so I just pray that this goes further than today. And we're just blessing the people out. And I want them to remember that I choose me. And we're going to end this out, my friend. And I'm going to see you on the flip side.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Yeah.
We
All
did
right.
it. Bye-bye.